I think women-centric cinema will coexist, but don't expect anything extravagant out of this because clearly women-centric cinema is very niche in nature. As I said, the consumption habit of the audience is changing, and it is not changing towards medium-budget films or small-budget films. It is changing towards scale-driven films, towards franchise-driven films, towards VFX. They want the exact worth of their time, effort, money when they go to watch a movie. So I think women-centric films will coexist in the system, but don't expect very healthy box office numbers or very crazy box office numbers or record-breaking box office numbers from these kind of films. I think top five films. I think Pushpa 2, Stree 2, Bhool Bhulaiya 3, and Singham 3. These are the top four films that come offhand right now. In terms of stars, I think, of course, Allu Arjun, the kind of fan following he's got, I think phenomenal success of Pushpa 2 has been seen in the Hindi circuit. So that is, clearly commendable. Rajkumar Rao, the way he's, come off as a large actor and, kind of scaled up in terms of collections, followed by Kartik Aaryan and then Ajay Devgan. I think it's healthy for both the industries, but as we have seen so far as a trend, South films do extremely well in North, but North films don't do well in South. So the reason for that is very clear that somewhere I don't think the stars have a very strong fan following there. That's the first thing. Second issue is content. I think the content is not up to the mark. The kind of content we make is not as superior as the kind of content the South, creative ecosystem makes. So I think we'll get there. It's a matter of time. But just imagine today if a Pushpa 2 is doing 1,000 crores, hypothetically, tomorrow if a Singham does 1,000 crores, it's going to be very, very big, right? And that will only happen if the content is good, if the content is accepted in South and the star is also accepted in South in a very big manner. So I think the future is about, this entire blend of Hindi and South, which will happen, but it's going to take some time because the Hindi content issue needs to be addressed right now. So I think in terms of South content, what I would say is that they are very different in terms of the stories, the concepts, very, very offbeat. They are majorly made for the masses as compared to the Hindi content, which would appeal more to the urban audience put together. So I think we need to really create content, which appeals to the masses across every, so to say, section of the society and also globally, right? Because we can't ignore the global audience as well. So I think Hindi content really needs to get that right, from a creative standpoint. So I think if you look at box office, pre-COVID times, Hindi net box office was around 4,000 odd crores, which kind of moved 15-20% higher in CY23 because of Gadar 2 and Pathan and Oh My God 2 and Animal, these four major movies put together. This year, what we have seen is that despite Pushpa 2, I think the net Hindi box office will fall short by 15-20%. We are heading towards a situation wherein we are going to just about kiss pre-COVID levels in terms of numbers, but not surpass them because of a high pace which is there. But as I said, Pushpa 2 has really saved the day. It's been a reasonably good year because of Pushpa 2, because had Pushpa 2 not been there, this decline would have been even 25-30% versus pre-COVID levels. So I think CY25, Hindi could remain this range of 10-15% higher number. The only key monitorable or the only watch that I would have for the box office is the Hollywood box office. I think that's going to come back very, very strongly. I think Hollywood box office, our numbers are down by anywhere between 40-45% versus pre-COVID times. So I think that is where the major turnaround will happen. I think prediction from 2025, I think 2-3 things here. One is I think the worst impact in terms of the OTT negative impact is largely done with. I don't see, kind of OTT impact being more for the film industry or the box office industry in CY25. We can only get better from here on because the way we are standing right now, the worst is over. Second would be that on ticket prices, I don't see ticket prices move up beyond a certain point. I think more of this discounting will continue, cinema day, all these offers will continue. Ticket prices are going to be at rational level or even might come down to a certain extent. So these are two major trends apart from Hollywood is what we can see in CY25. See, I think re-release is a good trend. When you don't have content, you are able to recover some part of a fixed cost. But definitely release is not the future. You might have these marketing things, but if you look at releases, I think the average occupancy is below 10%. To break even in a cinema chain, you need an occupancy of at least 18-20%. So releases can only recover some part of a fixed cost, can cover up for the losses and cover up for this entire gap in terms of supply of content. But releases can't be termed as a trigger for the future.